Eddie, we're here in a bit of a rainy Philadelphia for Boots Ennis' homecoming press conference later today. But before we come on to that, some big news in the last day or two. Matchroom linking up with Pitch. What can you tell us about this landmark deal?
Yeah, it's a huge moment for the company, obviously for the family as well. You know, from that small little family-owned business under a broom cupboard in Romford to one of the biggest global players in the sporting world. Over the last couple of years, the growth across the business, you know, of course, through the PDC, through World Snooker and Matchroom Boxing, has been so significant that, you know, we've had a number of approaches from people to look to acquire a minority investment in the business, but also help us partner to really make that growth as rapid as possible and explore the opportunities globally. And we've been looking for the right partner to do so. And we feel that Pitch is the perfect partner, you know, across their expertise of sports rights, events, sponsorship. They already do an incredible job globally for a number of key players. So yeah, they took a minority investment in the business, and we took an investment with them as well in terms of bringing them on board to grow the company to the next level. And you know, it was a huge day for Matchroom Sport.
A huge day for Boots Ennis here. His first fight in Philadelphia in a couple of months' time. Head of the press conference, though, 4,000 tickets sold on pre-sale. I mean, did you project that sort of number?
Do you know what? I think that this has a lot of very similar feel to the Haney Prograis situation, where you're taking Devin home to the Bay Area, but they've never had boxing before, or they haven't had boxing for many, many years. It's such a huge roll of the dice, because you know that there's certain markets where you're going to sell. New York, Las Vegas, LA. But every fighter, especially a fighter of the ability and the potential of Boots Ennis, they have to be built in their hometown. And when you've got a city like Philadelphia, why not? I mean, it's not like you're talking about it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a major city that loves its sport, loves their own, and has history in the sport of boxing. Wells Fargo never had a boxing event before. This is it. This is the time. But when you go on sale at the same time, you're rolling the dice. It's like, oh, you know, and when you get that phone call to say 3,000 in 20 minutes, wow. You know, and then all of a sudden, bang, the lot, 4,500, whatever it was, all our allocations gone. It's massive, and it just gives you so much excitement and joy for Jaron Ennis that he's finally going to get what he deserves. This kid, he may be the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. He's got to prove it. But I'll tell you what, he is one of the best fighters now in this country. He should be a superstar. He will be a superstar under us. And July 13th is the start of it. I don't know what we're going to ram in there. 10, 15, 20,000. Like, the sky's the limit, but the city is coming out for Jaron Ennis, and he deserves it.
Let's talk about the fight. What do you know about Cody Crowley?
Good fighter. You know, I mean, I saw him today on the, you know, across his social media on the steps, saying he's going to win Philly's heart on July the 13th. Great. I love it. You know, it's an undefeated fighter, 22-0. He's built himself to the mandatory position. He's with PBC. This kid can really fight. But unfortunately for him, he's coming up against, as I said, a pound for pound great. Now, what's going to be different this time is the pressure on Jaron Ennis. The city coming out, me hyping him up. Everybody's saying this is the next coming of Crawford or Floyd or whoever it's going to be. So, but the greats will shine. And I think Cody Crowley will give us a hell of a fight on July 13th. But I don't think it will be good enough.
With those pressures you mentioned on Boots, does he need to make a real statement here?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, everybody needs to make a statement always. Like, if you got me hyping you up, telling the world you are a pound for pound great, you got to show it. I can't take a lackluster performance. I can't take a scrape out 12-round decision. You got to go and show me. And not just show me, show the world. But as I said, the special ones do it. The special ones rise to the pressure. The special ones deliver when it matters most. And as I said, for Boots, this is it.
There's some photos circulating after his, I guess you would say, successful trip in New York, where his face was pretty much everywhere. In particular, he met His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Without overlooking Cody, is it fair to say there are some huge, huge plans in place?
Oh yeah, I mean, His Excellency knows boxing, and he knows how good Jaron Ennis is. He knew him well before we'd signed him. And I wanted to take Jaron to meet His Excellency and just say, you know, we hope we're a part of your plans. And the answer was, you absolutely are. You know, I know that there's talks of Canelo, Crawford and whatever, but he made it quite clear. Crawford against Ennis is a fight that he likes, and we've got to make the statements to show that we're worthy of that fight. And I don't mind saying it. You know, you got to really earn your shot against these greats. Madrimov won the world title, he got the shot. Ennis won the world title, he got the shot. But Crawford knows how good Boots Ennis is. And Crawford's got to get past his Raul Madrimov. Ain't going to be easy.
It's fair to say for Jaron, plan is look good July 13 and then be front and centre, front row for that Crawford-Madrimov fight.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're never going to see Jaron jumping in the ring and slapping people, but he will call him out, and that's the fight that he wants. But we also have plans in the 147-pound division. You know, Crawford's moving up to 154 to do his thing. I'm looking at Stanionis, I'm looking at Barros. I don't want Boots to leave the division without capturing all the gold. So come through Cody Crowley, then we must unify. But in the meantime, we want that Crawford fight, and if it comes, I know he'll grab it with both hands.
Well, this Saturday in Mexico, Rocky Hernandez is back, just 22 seconds from glory last time out against Usyk Foster. As devastating as that was, he's got a new chance to get his head down and lock in another world title shot. But a big fight this week against Daniel Lugo.
Do you know what? This is a really, really tough fight to come back to. I mean, you saw Lugo draw with Maurizio Lara last time out. I thought he was very unlucky not to get that decision that night. You know, Rocky Hernandez, things can spiral real quick in boxing and in life, up and down. You know, like you said, 22 seconds from becoming world champion. Imagine the route your career and life takes there to defeat, and then if you lose the comeback fight, you're in a real tricky place. So he must win on Saturday, and it's a very, very tough fight. I think he looks like he's trained hard for this fight, but it's going to be grueling, as is Erica Cruz against Romero on that fight. That, trust me when I say, you know, everything that I'm hearing out of the Romero camp is this girl can really fight. She can really punch. And Erica Cruz is always in wars, and we're deeply invested in that 122-pound division right now.
Yeah, do all roads lead to undisputed in that division?
That's what we want. You know, we announced today, of course, that Ramla Ali will face Mexico's Yamaleth Mercado for the WBC world title on the massive Bam Estrada card. Ellie Scottney already has 2 belts. So we want to unify that division ASAP. So next up, you know, Ellie Scottney's going to fight either the winner of Cruz against Romero or the winner of Mercado against Ramla Ali. And I want to see one champion in that division, as we should look to do across every division.
Elsewhere, unfortunate news about Artur Beterbiev's injury, ruling him out of the Dmitry Bivol fight. Any news when he might be fit and able to fight?
No, I mean, it sounds like you know, he's littered with injuries, isn't he? And it's a meniscus, I believe. He's having an operation, so he's going to be out. I mean, he talks about September, October, I think, at the earliest. So, you know, a huge thank you to His Excellency for allowing Dmitry Bivol to fight and perform. Tough fight against Malik Zinad. You know, he's coming off a big win in Australia in an eliminator for a world title. I think he's 22-0 himself. Full of energy, full of character as well, and it's his dream chance. And sometimes, you know, the danger in that fight is that you can be a little bit flat if you're Dmitry Bivol. You've been training for Beterbiev, Zinad comes in, but for Zinad, it's like a life-changing opportunity. So Dmitry's got to be switched on June 1st.
The Ryan and Devin saga continues to drag on, particularly on social media. I mean, what's the likelihood of maybe the fight becoming a no contest here?
Look, I mean, I can't really be clear enough in what I'm saying. I think we reserve judgment until Ryan has his opportunity to explain his innocence. I mean, the fact is very simple. When Ryan Garcia went into the ring, he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system. Now, whether that was intentional or not, that's up to him to prove with his lawyers. You know, you see this stuff about it was only a little bit, you know, apparently it was 60 times on the Friday, the amount, you know, the threshold amount. So it's not a case of how much was in his system. Yes, that can be proved in his case that it might have been contamination. And one thing I keep saying, I really hope it is. Like, I want to believe Ryan Garcia that he didn't cheat. If he did, then that's another story. But I think fighters should actually be given the benefit of the doubt in this situation, but they have to go through the process and prove why they should be given the benefit of the doubt. Now, as I said, what we know is when he was in the ring with Devin, he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system. Therefore, the fight will 100% be a no contest, in my opinion, because it doesn't matter whether it was intentional or not, it was in. And, you know, I don't, like, no contest at this stage, I don't think it really matters. I mean, effectively, he missed weight anyway, so he didn't win the belt. But in Devin's mind, he's fought a guy that was 3.5 pound over and much bigger on the night and had performance-enhancing drugs in his system. So like, I know I get a lot of stick from Ryan Garcia fans, but I say it again, I hope, and I give him the benefit of the doubt, that he is innocent. But he has to prove it, because when he went into the ring that night, again, I say it, he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system. Simple. And, you know, normally this would come out before the fight. And again, like, it's so frustrating when people say, yeah, but how they let him fight on the night. Guys, you've got to understand, like, it takes anywhere between 14 and 28 days to actually get the results back from VADA. So when you get tested on a Friday, the blood gets taken, it gets packaged up, it gets sent to Salt Lake City, it sits in a laboratory to be tested. That's, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days. It gets tested, it goes through a system, it gets, you know, the report comes back. It's not something that you receive instantly, and it's not something that you receive in 3, 4, 5 days either. So the reporting was actually in line with every standard timing. So I hope that Ryan is innocent, but for Devin, you've got to feel for him.
Next Saturday, fast approaching Ring of Fire. You put on your Twitter, or X as it's now called. Yeah. You've changed your thought process on the main event, your prediction.
Yeah, I don't know really. I mean, like, I'm backwards and forwards all the time, and that's why it's such a great fight. I mean, you know, the undisputed heavyweight world championship. I can't wait to get out to Riyadh. You know, for us, obviously, Jai Opatara and Joe Cordina defending their world titles, but who doesn't want to see Fury Usyk? I mean, it's such a intriguing fight, and you know, one minute I see Usyk in training camp, and I just think, he always finds a way. And then you see Fury in much better shape. I've gone against Fury so many times. Like, I didn't think he'd beat Vladimir Klitschko. I didn't think he'd beat Deontay Wilder. But I've also gone against Usyk. You know, I believed AJ would beat Usyk. And right now, if Fury comes out like he did for Wilder 2 and is aggressive with smart pressure, I think he can stop him. And that's what I'm going for right now. Once I get to Riyadh, ask me again, it'll probably be something different. But listen, I hope Fury can do it. I really want him to win that fight.
Eddie, thanks for your time. Better go for the press conference, and we'll catch up in Riyadh.
Cheers.
Thank you.